Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. It's past mid-February. It's finally stopped raining, the sun's out. I'm in my greenhouse at home. I got some more of these elephant garlic combs which I've had sort of peeled and soaking, so they're just starting to sprout. So I'm going to get these in these pots. Some of the others that I did last time didn't fare too well. I think I kept them in the house a bit too long, went a bit leggy. Still got like 6 there and one that's a bit leggy. So I'm just going to transplant them as well. I've got some other like bulbs that I'd brought back from the allotment in here which have all sprouted. I'm going to start them off in pots as well. And these are a couple of lemon balm plug plants I bought. I'm going to pot them up now. It said don't put them out in frost too soon, kind of thing, let them just establish a bit. So, but they're not getting any nutrient now, just being in there with water. I apologise for not putting any content out recently. I had a bit of an issue since Christmas. A fresh ulcers come up on my other leg, my good leg if you like. So I'm back to sort of weekly visits with the nurse, which I can only go on a Friday afternoon. So I have filmed a couple of little bits at the allotment on Fridays, but I've not been able to stay long. So I'll edit them in at the end of this video. So I have to pretty much try and keep my leg elevated as much as I can, see if I can get this thing. It's sort of stopped leaking now. I've just got to try and get the hole to close up. But just sort of break back into it slowly and do a bit when I can. But at least I heard a statistic recently, I think from the end of February, there's no sunset in the UK that's before 6 PM. So within the next couple of weeks I'll be able to start going to the allotment on an evening after work. But until then I'm afraid it'll be a little bit restrictive. I've done a couple of bits and bobs. I videoed something before which I'll post at the same time. I've got some bits of dashcam stuff I need to edit together and put up there. I did a bit of work on my car which I videoed, so I'll put that up as well for any sort of car enthusiasts out there. Obviously no interest to pure gardeners. So I'm going to I've bought a big bag of compost, so I'm going to get some compost in these pots and start transplanting these little bulbule things, and I shall bring you back shortly. I'm just sort of loosely filling the pot, I'm not compacting it yet. Grab one of the bulbs, obviously put the root end down, just gently push it in, and all I'm doing, I don't want to, while they put roots out, they need to sort of tunnel their own way into the compost, so covering it over and just sort of gently firming it down, not too much, just enough to keep it in place, let the roots do the work and tunnel in. So I'll get the rest of these done. That's all those little bulbules planted, but I need to go and wash out some more pots now so I can transplant these other things, get a few of them these other bulbs on the go, so I'm ready to put them in the ground. Need to clear the beds out there first, so I'll bring you back shortly. With these little, I think they're garlic that it's self-sown from cloves last year, so I've snapped the old dried root off. I've just had them stood in a little bit of water. With these I'm literally just making a dimple and just carefully compacting the soil around them, but not too hard. Then I'll water them all in a bit when I've got them all planted. So with onions and garlic, especially sets, when they start putting roots out, they sometimes push themselves out the ground. So you've got to be careful. You've not don't use the bulb to push them into the pot as you compact the soil immediately underneath. Then when the roots come out, they just build up underneath like a spring and pop them out the soil. So just create a bit of a dimple and gently sort of firm them in, water them in, and just keep an eye on them. If they start pushing out, then just sort of firm them back in slightly once the roots start coming out. But hopefully they'll sort of make their own bite then and root throughout the compost, so these will be I'll just transplant that entire thing, roots and everything, later, you know, in a month or two's time, when I've cleared some space out in the garden. These elephant garlic combs will probably stay in these this year, maybe repot them, and they're 2 or 3 years before they're probably plantable they'll grow into a small single bulb first, and eventually you can plant that and that'll grow into the large elephant garlic. I do have some bulbs from last year. They're about golf ball size. I may end up eating them, but I do have some of the cloves as well, so sometimes they're split and you get some quite big cloves, so you can replant them, and I'll be planting them in the next week or two in the garden at home here, or maybe in some tyres at the allotment, and they should grow into some bulb, you know, larger bulb garlic later this year. So I'll get these last few planted now. Battery's going on my phone, so I'll try and be quick. Phone battery's quite low now, so I'll make this the last clip. I've potted all these. I've potted a few small ones just in a 6-cell tray there. I've got these cloves as well, which I've been saving from shop bought garlic, larger cloves. But I think I'll put them straight in the garden. Might not be today. I'll take them back in the house for now. But thank you for watching. Watch a bit further, because I'll put some clips from bits I've filmed on a few Fridays, and there's an interesting one of the times I went, we had snow on the ground. I had some really interesting sort of prints, animal prints in the snow, which I have no idea what they are. So might be, if anyone knows what kind of animal leaves tracks like them, let me know in the comments. But I'll get back to it as soon as I can, really. I'll be doing bits and bobs. I'll start calling after work again soon. Like I say, I'm still on weekly appointments with the nurse doing the dressing on my leg, so there's a limit to how much I can do and how much time I've got to keep my leg elevated. So I shall catch you on the next one. Cheers now. So this is quite clever, walking on snow on a plastic sheet. That's an interesting I wonder if that's just, they actually look like tracks off an animal or something, but you'd have to be a donkey or something come through it to make tracks like that. Unless that's some sort of weird bird hopping around, or some like tracks there as well. Something been scampering around there. That's interesting, that. Wonder what creature that is that's been having a rummage. That's almost like a big paw or something, maybe a dog or something's been over having a run around. Well, it doesn't look like them leeks are frost hardy. It's really strange, them tracks. That's got me extremely curious. The ground's pretty hard, actually. The ground is frozen. I was hoping I might be able to get down over the weekend, but got a light come on, brake pad warning lights come on my car, so I think I might have to do a bit of work on my car this weekend. I know it's due a bit of a service, so do an oil change and stuff, and put new front brakes on it, I think. Not going to be an awful lot to do if the weather's cold like this. I shall try and do some stuff at home, perhaps. Them two were there before, but that might be a new one. I think that has dropped a bit, but like I say, it does slow right down in winter. Them tracks are really curious. We don't have any deer or anything round here, so anyone has any idea what them tracks are, please make a comment. Very strange. I know I've got some relatives live on Vancouver Island, and my auntie can't grow any flowers or anything as the deer come down and eat them out of her garden, which she finds quite annoying. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Would you believe it's the last Friday in January now? I don't know where this month's gone. Sun's out now, but it was raining heavily this morning, so I've just nipped down, ate my lunch, sat in my car. Just scored a bit of wood. There's like a little area by the car park coming into the allotment where people leave things. It's a bit of a free for all, so just managed to see in the distance down there, score a bit of wood, so I'll just grab that and pull it over onto my half. When I edit this together, I'll be editing in last week's, obviously just before this. So this time last week the place was covered in snow and there was some weird footprints. Looked like I had like a three-toed polar bear walking around, so I've no idea what that was. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Would you believe it's the 30th of January today, so January ends tomorrow. I've called at the allotment, it's a Tuesday, I've called at the allotment after work. The sun was out, but I mean, it sets in about 5 minutes, you can barely see it in the distance there. Not sure how much light I'm going to have. I just wanted to see sort of how long the daylight lingered, so might get an idea when I better start calling again after work. I bought some of the blue bait that I was originally using. I'll just top up the trays. Got some coffee grounds, and my vegetable peeling bucket from home is near full. I forgot it the last 2 Fridays I've been down. That's a fresh one there, so the way he's going, he'll have the place dug over for me in no time. I'll have a quick look in the greenhouse. It's actually about 7 degrees. It's centigrade, it's not the warmest. I think they're still having a bit of a nibble in them, but not much. Obviously they've already got the chocolate chips, they're having a bit of a rummage, but I'll top them up with the blue pelleted wheat. Everywhere's still wet. We've had a look, well, it was rain most of yesterday. I don't know if you better see it, the road outside's partially flooded still. So I shall I'll get this lot in the compost bin, and I'll bring you back in a bit.